Hey there, kids, and welcome to another music lesson with Mr. Whitman. I know it's been a little while since my last video, but I have been waiting for this webcam to show up so I don't have to record on my phone, and it lets me do some pretty cool things. So I'm going to record in here. I know the sound quality isn't that great. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it's not that great, but it does let me do some pretty cool things. Our plan for music class today looks like this. Step number 1, we are going to be singing a song together that is one that my second graders know because we were getting this song ready for a performance this spring. My first graders and kindergartners, this is not going to be a very easy song to sing, but once you catch on to the pattern, you'll be able to sing along with us. You might need to play this video twice or thrice. We're going to talk a little bit about where this song comes from and why we're singing about the weird things that we do in this song, because some of the things are pretty weird. Then we'll get started, and hopefully you'll be singing along with me. Then I'd like to introduce you to an interesting instrument that I have here at my house. I have quite a few interesting instruments, so I might be introducing you to some pretty cool things that you might not have seen before. Then, if you've been good, you get to stick around and see a magic trick. So, let's get started. Hey, you kids, get off my lawn! Our song today comes from Ireland. That means that this song is an Irish song. Now, there's a couple things I'd like to explain. First, this song takes place in a valley. What's a valley, Mr. Whitman? I'm glad you asked that. The next time, raise your hand, please. A valley is an area of land where there's two high places and they come down low. The valley is the low part of the land. A lot of East Peoria is in a valley. If you stand on top of the hill where McDonald's is, and you look down that big hill, and then across to the other side, it goes up, up, up on the other side where you can see, and all of that lowland down where McDonald's is and the gas station, that would be in a valley. Now, in that valley, there was a bog. What's a bog, Mr. Whitman? Seriously, raise your hand. A bog is what we would call a swamp. In Ireland, they call it a bog. We call it a swamp. And a swamp is an area of land that's covered in water, and there's mud and snakes and bugs and frogs, and I wouldn't want to go there. Now, in this bog, there was a tree. Now, they say that this tree is a rare tree. And rare means you don't see it very often. Like, if you look outside. Could you see a bird? Mm-hmm. Do you often see an eagle? No, you don't. An eagle is rare. Could you have a coin? Yes. Do you often see a gold coin? No. That means that would be rare. We say this is a rare tree, a rattlin tree. Now, why do we say it's rattlin? They call this the Rattlin Bog, and here's why. Is he ever going to stop talking about valleys and trees? Just sing the song, man. In this bog, there grows a special type of a plant. It's called a reed. And these reeds grow up out of the ground. They're kind of like little tubes that grow up out of the ground. And when the wind blows, it makes all of these reeds bump into each other. And when only one hits each other, it just goes. But when you have thousands of reed all over the swamp, when the wind blows, they say it sounds like the whole swamp starts rattling when all of these reeds bump into each other. It's wet, it's muddy, it's gross, and there's spooky rattle sounds. Unsubscribe. We're going to get started with our song, but here's what you need to know. There's an order of things that we sing about. We have, in that valley, there's a bog. In that bog, there's a tree. On that tree, there's a limb. That's the first part that comes out of the big trunk. On that limb, there's a branch. On that branch, there's a twig. On that twig, there's a nest. On that nest, there's an egg. On that egg, there's a bird. On that bird, there's a feather. And on that feather, there's a little teeny tiny flea. A little teeny bug, so small you can barely even see it. So we go from this huge valley down to this little teeny flea. Your job? Listen at the beginning if you don't know the song. As you start to understand the pattern, sing the song. Let's get started. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. In that bog there was a tree, rare tree, a rattling twig, with the twig in the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. On that tree there was a limb, a rare limb, a rattling limb, with the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. On that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch, with the branch on the limb and the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. On that branch there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig, with the twig on the branch and the branch on the limb and the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. Oh, the Rattlin Bog, the walk down in the valley-o. On that twig there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest, with the nest on the twig and the twig on the branch and the branch on the limb and the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. On that nest there was an egg, a rare egg, a rattling egg, with the egg on the nest and the nest on the twig and the twig on the branch and the branch on the limb and the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. On that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird, with the bird on the egg and the egg on the nest and the nest on the twig and the twig on the branch and the branch on the limb and the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. On that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, rattling feather, with the feather on the bird and the bird on the egg and the egg on the nest and the nest on the twig and the twig on the branch and the branch on the limb and the limb on the tree and the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, down in the valley-o. On that feather there was a flea, a rare flea, a rattling flea, with the flea on the feather, feather on the bird of the egg, and the egg on the nest on the twig, and the twig on the branch, and the branch on the bog down in the valley-o. Hi-ho, the Rattlin Bog, the bog down in the valley-o. I hope I remembered all the parts. Oh, I needed that. The next part of our music lesson, we are going to take a look at an instrument that Mr. Whitman has at home. This is a drum that you might not have seen before. It's called a cajon, and a cajon is spelled C-A-J-O-N-E, I think. Nope, C-A-J-O-N, no E. A cajon is a special type of a drum that can make a few different sounds that's fun to play. I've been sitting on it this whole time, and you actually sit on it to play it. In the back, there's a hole. And now you might be thinking, Mr. Whitman, your drum's broken. There's a hole in it. No, that's not the case. You see, all sound is made with vibrations. All of our instruments vibrate to make sound. And if an instrument doesn't have a hole in it somewhere for the vibrations to get out, those vibrations can't travel through the air and get to your ears so you can hear the sound. Think about the boom whackers that we play and what happened when we hit it up and down on the carpet. What would happen if we put our hand on the hole on the top? We hit it down on the ground. Did any sound come out? No, because all the vibrations were trapped inside. Think about the front of a trumpet when you're playing. It's got that hole in the front where all the vibrations can come out. Think about the hole in your head where all the sound comes from. Now this drum can make some different sounds depending on where you hit it. When you hit it here in the middle, it makes a nice low sound, which I'm not sure if you can hear it too well on these speakers. If you hit it on the side up here, you get a lighter popping sound. When you put it together, it's almost like you can play a drum set along with somebody who might be playing guitar in the room. Unfortunately, I don't have a friend to help me play guitar and play drums here right now. But a cajon can sound like this. So there's many different types of drums and different things that you can play. It would be fun to make some music together with a group of people. For today's magic trick. Today I'm going to be using a normal deck of cards. Well, it's almost normal because sometimes when I do a magic trick and I use one of my cards to make the magic happen, some of the magic sticks in that card and the magic just won't go away. I call that card a sticky card. So, for example, the last time I did a magic trick, I used the 6 of diamonds. And now the magic is stuck in this 6 of diamonds. Let me show you what I mean. If I put it right here on top of my normal deck of cards, I can mix the cards up, and I don't think shuffling sounds very good in these microphones. Sorry about that. But I give these a couple shuffles, try to mix it up nice and good. And my 6 of diamonds comes back. You might be thinking, all right, Mr. Whitman, but mix it up a little better. Okay, mix it up this way. I'll mix it up this way. And the 6 of diamonds comes back. I can stack cards on top of it. And the 6 of diamonds comes back. I can shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. And the 6 of diamonds just keeps coming back. It's this weird sticky card, and I can't get the magic out of the card. Sometimes I might think to myself, okay, it's finally gone away. And then I'm like, okay, I can finally give that up. The magic. I'm going to need to try harder. I plan on putting out some music lessons every week now. Look for me on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I will see you soon again for another music lesson. Until then, toodles!